said he's not a fan.
It gets in this broader sense that when people like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg talk about free speech, everybody wants free speech, but it oftentimes seems that these tech CEOs actually are favoring or preferring a certain kind of speech, right? They're favoring their own speech or their own political preferences and not the actual entire user or the community's speech. You know, the changes announced by Meta today are very much un-MAGA, pro-Trump people. And that's going to win.
Well, okay, I don't even know if I believe in all of Zuckerberg's crap. If anything, you would call it a course correction. Yeah. It was all one-sided forever. And now you got your panties in a bunch, Brian.
And that's going to win some conservative users, but it may repel some liberals. That's the same thing we've seen happen on Elon Musk's X. That turned into more of a right-wing platform where he's pro-free speech when it's really pro-Musk or pro-Trump speech.
The funny thing is that he needs to watch his own network. Yeah, exactly, because they crunched the numbers, and actually X is the most ideologically balanced social media platform on the planet.
Yeah, but not to them, because they're so far left. They're used to owning the game.
All right, Brian Stelter, thanks as always. And you mentioned those changes over at Meta. That is going to be fascinating to watch moving forward, because obviously Facebook and Instagram, places like that, have also been accused of being super spreaders of disinformation.
Oh, that's so good, man. Well, you know, it's that time. You go around the table, it may not be the biggest story out there, but it's going to get attention. And you know, I now lead what's the story today because it's right in line with what we just heard. And I happen to see this at Fox News Digital. And I was not familiar with this guy, William John, former soccer player, has his own company. What is it? Golden Remy. He's the CEO. You know, for footballers, as they call it. We call it soccer players, but whatever. He's an American guy, man of color. Okay. And he's out with his own social media doing man-on-the-street interview stuff. At the same time, Don Lemon was.
Same time, huh?
Same time.
Wow.
Okay. He doesn't recognize Don Lemon. He couldn't put it together. It's like, I think I've seen him before. Which, I mean, the guy's like 35 years old. It's easy for me to understand how he would not know who he was. But it's almost like Don Lemon couldn't quite believe it. And as you get to this piece, and I hate it when Fox Digital puts their own music behind sound clips, but you'll hear that. He's explaining first, this is William John, I didn't know who he was.
I didn't know who he was originally. That's the funny thing, is that he's one of those guys that's just, you know, for I don't know how many years or something like this. And so my videographer said, there's that guy, and I'm looking, I recognize the face, but I don't know the name.
Okay, so Don Lemon, Elon Musk is the real president. Trump's kind of like a vice president sort of thing, trying to stir up trouble. Sounds like the head of communications.
What's, wait a second. No one said that.
Really? Have you not watched and paid attention?
Absolutely not. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing during my day so I can try and get a better life and get ahead.
Okay, do you have your phone with you?
I do.
Why don't you Google right now?
Yes, tell me.
President Musk and see what comes.
No.
Tell me, give me the sources. Just go through.
Axios, Business Insider. We don't trust any of this. The common man doesn't trust any of this.
Keep going.
ABC News, Washington Post, New York Times,
Keep going.
The Atlantic. I don't trust any of these. I don't trust any of them.
Don thinks it's checkmate.
Yeah.
And Will John is like, I don't trust any of these. The common person doesn't, which is true. Which this whole thing is then hilarious.
I don't trust any of these. We're the common man. We don't trust any of these. My name's William John. I'm conversationally fluent in 9 languages, and I'm the founder and CEO of Golden Remy. I think that's the issue. I don't watch the mainstream, and he signifies right now the problem that I think we as Americans are having with the mainstream. You are not connected to us. The independent media is stepping up, and the reason we are becoming so powerful and so important to the American people is because there is a massive disconnect, and we feel lied to. It's I think a beautiful thing, as so many, not just Americans, but I would say across the world, as I, also spend a lot of time in Europe. I wake up to the fact that, the tools of propaganda and some people behind the scenes have utilized the mainstream media and been caught in these lies.
Yes. And now it's over.
And
For at least a certain age group, I believe.
And it's no longer, we're not okay with that. That's the main motivation. We're not okay with it, and we feel we deserve better.
Okay.
Mainstream has already shifted. I think that's part of the problem, is that when he's listing off of these Axios, Business Insider, ABC News, all these things, it doesn't carry the weight that it carried in the 80s or the 60s or then. That part is over.
Yeah. And you get the idea. He goes on, but I loved watching that.
Don, by the way, you're one of the reasons people don't trust him.
Absolutely.
One of the big reasons. You were too liberal for CNN. Think about that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Hilarious. All right, David, what do you got today for what's your story?
Well, Gallup has a survey looking at it's basically polling as Joe Biden is on the way out.
All right, attention, everybody.
Yeah.
Here we go.
New poll.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he was a little late. Yeah. One of my favorite clips that David found when he said gays and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Gays and gentlemen. A new poll from Gallup suggests that President Joe Biden will be remembered by Americans as the worst president since Richard Nixon, who resigned in disgrace back in 1970.
You used to say, Scott, that Jimmy Carter would be applauding how terrible a job that Biden was doing.
Yeah.
Because then he wouldn't be known as the worst, and it seems like he's accomplished that.
I don't want to cast aspersions at Jimmy right now, but
No.
that being said, he was widely regarded as the worst president we've ever had.
Yeah.
I think he also hung on in hospice for like 2 years.
He did.
Just to see Joe Biden fail.
It happened.
You know
That's
what?
for sure.
That's an interesting take.
Then he kicked the bucket. He's like, all right, my work here is done.
I'm no longer the worst.
Yes.
And I don't think this is going to be a case where in a few years people are going to be looking back,
No.
with warm feelings toward Biden.
Yeah, for what reason?
No, I don't think so either. And I think it's actually